soar into the ancient skies of Greece, where the legend of Icarus unfolds, a tale of ambition, wings, and a fall that echoes through time. Crafted by his father Daedalus, Icarus's waxen wings promise freedom from Crete's labyrinth, but his daring flight tests the limits of human hubris. From a prison tower to a plunge into the sea, his story weaves craftsmanship, rebellion, and tragedy. If this mythic journey captivates you, hit like, subscribe for more epic tales, share your thoughts below, and tap the bell for updates. Ascend with Icarus, where dreams touch the heavens, but the sun's heat warns of pride's perilous cost. Beneath the blazing sun of Crete, where turquoise waves crash against golden shores and the air hums with the scent of olive groves, the legend of Icarus takes root in the mythical Bronze Age. Crete, a jewel of the Aegean, thrives under the iron rule of King Minos, its palaces alive with vibrant frescoes and bustling trade. Yet a dark secret festers within its heart. The Minotaur, a monstrous offspring of divine wrath, caged in a labyrinth of stone. This is the tale of Daedalus, a master craftsman whose genius shapes Crete's wonders, and his son Icarus, a youth of boundless spirit, both ensnared by a king's greed and fear. Let the rhythm of clinking chisels whisper dreams, and the sea's ceaseless murmur weave a soothing narrative. Its cadence of ingenuity and captivity lulling you gently towards sleep, where myths unfold like shadows over Crete's azure seas. Crete, in this ancient era, is a land of splendor and menace, its capital at Knossos a marvel of architecture and power. The palace, with its red columns and bull-adorned walls, buzzes with artisans crafting gold jewelry, merchants trading amphorae of wine, and priests offering sacrifices to Zeus and Poseidon. Minos, a king claiming divine favor from Zeus, rules with a blend of charisma and cruelty, his court a stage for ambition. His wife, Pasiphae, bears a shameful secret. Cursed by Poseidon for Minos's hubris in refusing to sacrifice a sacred bull, she birthed the Minotaur, a creature half man, half bull, its hunger for human flesh a stain on Crete's glory. To hide this abomination, Minos seeks a craftsman capable of containing it, his gaze falling on Daedalus, an Athenian exile whose name echoes across Greece. Daedalus, a wiry man with eyes sharp as obsidian, arrives in Crete with his son Icarus fleeing a dark past. In Athens, his home, he was revered for inventions, spinning wheels, statues with lifelike eyes. But envy led to tragedy. His nephew Talos, a prodigy, crafted a saw inspired by a snake's jaw, outshining Daedalus. In a fit of jealousy, Daedalus pushed Talos from the Acropolis, a crime that banished him. Now in Crete, Minos offers refuge, but at a price. Daedalus must build a prison for the Minotaur, a labyrinth so intricate none can escape. Icarus, barely 12, with curly hair and a restless spirit, clings to his father, his eyes wide at Knossos' grandeur, unaware of the chains awaiting them. Daedalus sets to work in Knossos' workshops, his hands a blur of precision. He gathers granite and marble, his tools, chisels, compasses, bronze saws, singing as he carves. The labyrinth takes shape, its corridors twisting like a gorgon's coils, walls rising in a maze that defies logic. He designs dead ends, spiraling paths, and hidden traps, each turn a puzzle only he can solve. Torches light his labor, their smoke curling as he etches bull motifs, honoring Crete's sacred animal. Icarus, eager to learn, sweeps stone dust, carries tools, and watches in awe. "Father, it's like a game for gods," he says, his voice bright, his hands tracing the wall's curves. Daedalus, smiling, teaches him to measure angles, their bond growing amid the grind of stone, a tender thread in their shared exile. The court marvels as the labyrinth nears completion, its scale dwarfing Knossos' halls. Poets chant of Daedalus, weaver of stone, their lyres echoing in the palace. Minos, inspecting the maze, nods approval, but his eyes gleam with calculation. The Minotaur, a monstrous shadow, is led into its depths, its roars muffled by stone. Pasiphae, veiled in shame, avoids the court, her curse a secret Minos guards fiercely. Daedalus, proud of his work, expects reward. Gold, freedom, a return to Athens. But Minos, fearing the craftsman's knowledge of the labyrinth's secrets, betrays him. "Your mind is too dangerous," the king declares, his voice cold as the Aegean. He orders Daedalus and Icarus confined to a tower on Crete's cliffs, its walls smooth, its windows barred, the sea below a vast mocking expanse. The tower, perched above crashing waves, becomes their prison, its stone walls a stark contrast to Knossos' vibrancy. Minos, cunning, allows Daedalus to continue crafting swords, shields, intricate toys for the court, but under guard, his freedom a cruel illusion. Icarus, growing lanky, paces the chamber, his fingers drumming on the bars, his eyes fixed on gulls soaring beyond. "Why can't we be free like them?" he asks, his voice sharp with youth's impatience. Daedalus, his beard streaked with grey, sits by a narrow window sketching on papyrus. He studies the birds, gulls gliding, hawks diving, their wings catching the wind's invisible currents. "We will fly," he whispers, his voice a spark of defiance, his mind already forging a plan to escape Minos' chains. Life in the tower is a delicate dance of hope and despair. By day, Daedalus crafts for Minos, his hands shaping bronze helmets, his mind plotting freedom. Icarus, restless, carves wooden birds, their wings crude but delicate, mimicking the gulls outside. He listens to his father's tales of Athens, olive groves, the Parthenon's rise, festivals under Athena's gaze, his heart aching for a home he barely remembers. At night, they huddle by candlelight, Daedalus sketching wings, his compass tracing arcs. "Feathers and wax," he murmurs, collecting gull feathers from nets below, wax from palace candles smuggled by sympathetic servants. Icarus, eyes bright, helps gather materials, his laughter a rare light in their stone cage. "We'll soar above the sea, father," he says, his ambition a flame that warms the narrative's gentle glow. The emotional depth weaves a soothing thread. Daedalus' genius, a fire that both creates and endangers, pulses with pride and regret. His love for Icarus, a steadfast anchor. Icarus's restlessness, a youth yearning for freedom, hums with innocent daring. His dreams of flight a spark in the tower's gloom. Minos' greed, cloaked in royal command, adds a menacing note, his betrayal a shadow over their bond. The tower's isolation, its walls cold but filled with their whispered plans, mirrors their hearts, bound yet defiant, its silence a gentle hum for sleep. The sea below, its waves a promise of escape, softens the tension, lulling listeners toward dreams. Culturally, Daedalus' craft reflects Greece's reverence for techne, skill as a divine gift. The Labyrinth, a mythic echo of Knossos' archaeological ruins, ties to Minoan Crete's complex palaces, its twists a symbol of human ingenuity. Icarus' role, aiding his father, mirrors Greek apprentice traditions, his eagerness embodying youth's potential. Minos' tyranny, imprisoning talent, warns of power's corruption, a theme in myths like Prometheus, who stole fire for man. The Minotaur, a creature of divine vengeance, links to Greece's belief in God's wrath, its imprisonment a ritual of shame and control, a quiet pulse in the myth's cadence. Politically, the imprisonment shifts Crete's balance. Minos' rule, strengthened by the Labyrinth's secrecy, teeters as Daedalus plots rebellion, his genius a latent threat. The Minotaur, tying Minos to Poseidon's curse, makes his throne fragile, his fear of Daedalus' knowledge a crack in his authority. Athens, Daedalus' lost home, looms as a rival, its memory fueling his defiance. The tower, a symbol of control, hums with the seeds of escape, its stakes softened for our narrative's soothing flow. Crete's court, unaware, continues its feasts, but whispers of Daedalus' skills spread, sowing unease among Minos' advisors. Crete's landscape, with its sunlit cliffs and olive-clad hills, frames the tale's opening. Knossos bustles, its frescoes of leaping bulls vivid, but the tower looms, its shadow heavy over the sea. Daedalus, gathering feathers, melts wax by candlelight, his sketches piling like leaves. Icarus, carving beside him, dreams of soaring, his fingers stained with sap, his laughter defiant. Minos' guards patrol below, their spears glinting, the king's eyes ever watchful. The sea's roar, a constant song, whispers of freedom, its rhythm a gentle tide in the myth's narrative. The labyrinth, hidden beneath Knossos, holds its monstrous secret, its corridors a silent testament to Daedalus' genius and Minos' fear. the myth's rhythm, blending craft with captivity, weaves a soothing tide, its promise of escape gentle for sleep. Daedalus's plan, wings to defy Earth's pull, takes shape, his mind a forge of hope. Icarus, his heart alight, stacks feathers, his ambition a spark that lights the gloom. The tower, though a prison, hums with their rebellion, its stone walls no match for a father's cunning and a son's dreams. The narrative, vibrant with possibility, sets the stage for their flight, its tensions soften to lull listeners toward dreams. As this segment fades, see Daedalus and Icarus in their tower, feathers strewn across the floor, wax glowing in candlelight. Minos's guards pace below, the sea glinting under Crete's moon. The myth, alive with hope and defiance, hums with the promise of wings, ready for their creation. Let this image, father and son plotting freedom, carry you toward dreams, where their flight into the skies awaits. In the shadow of Crete's towering cliffs, where the Aegean's waves sing of freedom beyond the bars of a stone prison, Daedalus and his son Icarus plot their escape from King Minos's grasp. In the mythical Bronze Age, the master craftsman, whose genius built the labyrinth to cage the Minotaur, now turns his mind to defying Earth's pull. This is the tale of their creation of wings, a marvel of feathers, wax and wood, born from desperation and hope. Icarus, his heart ablaze with youth's ambition, aids his father, their bond forged in the crucible of captivity. Let the rhythm of clinking tools, whispered dreams, and the sea's ceaseless call weave a soothing narrative, its cadence of ingenuity and yearning lulling you gently towards sleep, where myths unfold like gulls soaring over Crete's azure horizon. Crete remains a land of splendor and menace, its palace at Knossos alive with the hum of artisans and the clink of gold. King Minos, his rule anchored by the labyrinth's secrecy, keeps Daedalus and Icarus confined in a tower overlooking the sea, their freedom a cruel illusion. The Minotaur, hidden in its maze, roars beneath Knossos, a reminder of Minos's shame and Daedalus's role in concealing it. The tower, with its smooth stone walls and barred windows, is both workshop and cage. Minos, cunning, allows Daedalus to craft bronze shields, intricate toys, to keep his court dazzled, but guards watch every move, their spears glinting in the Aegean sun. Icarus, now 13, paces the chamber, his lanky frame restless, his eyes tracking gulls that glide beyond the bars. Their wings a taunt of liberty. Daedalus, his beard flecked with grey, labours by candlelight, his mind a forge of rebellion. The idea of wings born from watching birds consumes him. He sketches on papyrus, his compass tracing arcs that mimic a gull's flight. "We'll fly like they do," he tells Icarus, his voice low, wary of eavesdropping guards. The plan is daring, wings crafted from feathers, bound with wax and wood to carry them over the sea to freedom. Icarus, his curls dusted with sawdust, grins, his heart racing. "Above the waves, father, to Athens," he says, his voice a spark in the tower's gloom. Daedalus, torn between hope and fear, nods, his hands already gathering materials, his genius a beacon against their captivity. The crafting begins in secret, a labour of precision and stealth. Daedalus collects gull feathers, smuggled by sympathetic servants who slip them through the tower's bars, their loyalty a quiet defiance of Minos. He gathers wax from candles, melting it in a bronze bowl over a smuggled brazier, its glow hidden from guards. Olive wood, scavenged from broken crates, forms the frames, light yet sturdy. Icarus, eager, sorts feathers by size, his fingers nimble as he stacks them. White, grey, tipped with black, like pieces of a divine puzzle. "They're like Athena's gift," he whispers, his awe softening the tower's cold stone. Daedalus teaches him to bind feathers with thread, their hands moving in rhythm, a father-son bond forged in shared purpose. The wings take shape, each a marvel of craft. Daedalus designs them to mimic a bird's structure, curved frames to catch the wind, feathers layered to glide. He melts wax to seal the quills, its scent mingling with sea salt. The larger pair for himself spans 6 feet, sturdy for his weight. Icarus's, lighter, fit his slighter frame, their tips curling like a swallow's. By torchlight they work, Daedalus testing each feather's strength, Icarus humming tunes of Athens's festivals. Guards patrol below, their boots crunching, but the tower's height muffles their labor. Minos, in Knossos, suspects nothing, his court distracted by feasts and bull dances. The labyrinth's secret secure, Icarus, his ambition swelling, tests the wings in the tower's confines, flapping them gently, the feathers rustling. "I'll soar higher than the gulls," he boasts, his eyes bright with dreams of open skies. Daedalus, watching, feels a pang, pride in his son's spirit, fear of his recklessness. "We must fly steady, not too high or low," he warns, his voice firm, recalling tales of Phaethon, who fell driving the sun's chariot. Icarus nods, but his gaze drifts to the horizon, where the sun blazes like a god's promise. The tower, once a prison, hums with possibility, its walls no match for their creation, a gentle pulse in the narrative's soothing flow. The crafting is meticulous, each step a testament to Daedalus's genius. He binds feathers in overlapping rows, their tips aligned to catch air, the wax cooled to hold firm. He carves wooden struts, shaping them with a bronze knife, their curves precise as a sculptor's chisel. Icarus, learning fast, ties linen threads to secure quills, his hands steadier with each knot. They test the wings by candlelight, Daedalus holding one aloft, fanning it to feel its lift. "It's like a bird's soul," Icarus says, his voice soft, his fingers tracing the feathers. Daedalus, his heart heavy, knows the risks. Wax softens in heat, feathers tear in wind, but hope drives him, a father's love for his son's freedom. The tower's routine masks their work. By day, Daedalus crafts for Minos, swords, gold ornaments, his hands steady under guards' eyes. Icarus, tasked with polishing tools, slips feathers into hidden sacks, his smile disarming suspicious spearmen. At night they labor, whispering plans as the sea roars below. Servants, risking Minos' wrath, smuggle wax and wood, their loyalty a quiet rebellion. One, a maid named Ariadne, whispers of her father Minos' paranoia, her pity for Icarus softening her voice. "Fly far," she urges, slipping a candle through the bars. Her aid, a spark of kindness, lights the narrative, its warmth a soothing hum for sleep. The emotional depth is profound, a tender thread for dreams. Daedalus' genius, a fire that both frees and endangers, pulses with pride and fear. His love for Icarus a steadfast anchor. Icarus' ambition, a youth's dream of soaring, hums with reckless hope, his laughter a spark in the tower's gloom. Minos' tyranny, a shadow over their work, adds menace, his greed a cold note softened for sleep. The tower's isolation, filled with their whispered plans, mirrors their hearts, bound yet defiant, its silence a gentle lullaby. The sea below, its waves a promise of escape, weaves a soothing tide, easing listeners toward dreams. Culturally, the wings reflect Greece's reverence for techne, craft, as divine gift. Daedalus, a mythic artisan, echoes Hephaestus, god of smiths, his wings a pinnacle of human ingenuity. The Labyrinth, tied to Minoan Crete's ruins, grounds the myth in archaeological echoes, its complexity a symbol of mortal ambition. Icarus's role, aiding his father, mirrors Greek apprentice traditions, his eagerness a nod to youth's potential. Minos' control, imprisoning talent, warns of hubris, a theme in myths like Arachne's weaving or Prometheus's fire. Its caution, a quiet hum in the narrative. Politically, the crafting shifts Crete's balance. Minos' rule, strengthened by the Labyrinth, falters as Daedalus' rebellion grows, his wings a threat to royal control. The Minotaur, a secret tying Minos to Poseidon's wrath, makes his throne fragile, his fear of Daedalus' escape a crack in his authority. Athens, their distant goal, looms as a rival, its memory fueling their defiance. The tower, a symbol of oppression, hums with their rebellion, its stakes softened for the myth's soothing flow. Knossos, unaware, feasts, but whispers of Daedalus' skill stir unease among Minos' court. Crete's cliffs, kissed by sun and sea, frame the tale. Knossos sparkles, its frescoes vivid, but the tower looms, its shadow heavy. Daedalus, binding feathers, tests a wing, its rustle a promise. Icarus, stacking quills, dreams of skies, his fingers sticky with wax. Minos' guards patrol, their torches flickering, the king's eyes blind to their plan. The sea's song, ceaseless below, whispers freedom, its rhythm a gentle tide. The labyrinth hidden beneath Knossos holds its monster, a silent weight on Minos's crown. The myth's rhythm, blending craft with hope, weaves a soothing narrative, its promise of flight gentle for sleep. The wings nearly complete gleam in candlelight, their feathers a mosaic of escape. Daedalus, his heart torn between pride and fear, watches Icarus flap a wing, his laughter defiant. The tower, though a cage, pulses with their rebellion, its stone no match for their dream. The narrative, alive with possibility, sets the stage for their leap, its tension softened to lull listeners toward dreams. As this segment fades, see Daedalus and Icarus in their tower, wings piled high, wax cooling under Crete's moon. Minos's guards pace below, the sea glinting, Knossos asleep. The myth, vibrant with hope, hums with the promise of flight, ready for their ascent. Let this image, father and son, wings ready, carry you toward dreams, where their soar into the skies awaits. In the shadowed tower overlooking Crete's azure shores, where the Aegean's waves whisper of freedom beyond King Minos's grasp, Daedalus and Icarus prepare to defy their prison. In the mythical Bronze Age, the master craftsman's wings, feathers bound by wax and wood, are complete, a marvel of ingenuity born from desperation. This is the tale of their daring escape, as father and son leap from the tower, soaring over Crete's cliffs, their hearts alight with hope. Daedalus's warnings, to fly neither too high nor too low, clash with Icarus's youthful zeal, setting the stage for tragedy. Let the rhythm of rushing winds, flapping wings, and the sea's distant call weave a soothing narrative, its cadence of freedom and caution lulling you gently towards sleep, where myths unfold like clouds over Greece's endless skies. Crete, under Minos's iron rule, pulses with life and menace. The palace of Knossos glitters with frescoes of bulls and dolphins, its courts alive with merchants and priests honoring Zeus. The Labyrinth, Daedalus's creation, hides the Minotaur, its roars a secret Minos guards fiercely. The tower, perched on cliffs above the crashing sea, holds Daedalus and Icarus, their freedom a lie. Minos, cunning, allows Daedalus to craft bronze spears, intricate toys, but guards watch, their spears glinting. Icarus, now 13, his curls kissed by sun, paces the tower, his eyes fixed on gulls soaring beyond barred windows. The wings, stacked in their chamber, gleam with promise, feathers rustling like a bird's soul, wax hardened in the cool night air. Daedalus, his hands steady despite fear, prepares for escape. By candlelight, he fits the wings to their shoulders, binding them with linen straps. His pair, broad and sturdy, spans 6 feet, designed for his weight. Icarus's, lighter, curves like a swallow's, fitting his slighter frame. "We fly at dawn," Daedalus whispers, his voice low to evade guards. He tests the wings, fanning them gently, their lift stirring dust. Icarus, eager, mimics him, his arms straining, his laughter a spark in the gloom. "We'll touch the stars, father," he says, his ambition aflame. Daedalus, his heart heavy, kneels before his son, his eyes sharp. "Heed me, Icarus," he warns, his voice firm as stone. "Fly not too high, lest the sun melt the wax, nor too low, lest the sea soak the feathers. Stay close, follow my path." The warnings carry the weight of myth, echoing tales of hubris, Phaethon's fall, Bellerophon's pride. Daedalus, haunted by his own past, the murder of Talos in Athens, fears Icarus's recklessness. The sun, sacred to Apollo, burns fierce in Crete's skies, its heat a danger to their fragile wings. The sea, Poseidon's domain, churns below, its waves a threat to sodden feathers. Icarus nods, his eyes bright, but his heart races with dreams of soaring higher than gulls, of defying gods and kings. The tower, once a cage, hums with their rebellion, its stone walls no match for their crafted wings, a gentle pulse in the narrative's soothing flow. Dawn breaks, the sky a canvas of gold and rose. The guards, drowsy after a night's watch, patrol below, their torches dim. Daedalus and Icarus, cloaked in shadow, climb to the tower's highest window, the sea glinting far below. They don their wings, feathers rustling, wax cool to the touch. Daedalus, his beard flecked with grey, checks each strap, his hands trembling slightly. Icarus, his frame taut with excitement, flaps his wings, the air stirring. Now, Daedalus whispers, and they leap, the wind catching them like a mother's embrace. The tower falls away, Crete's cliffs shrinking as they rise, their wings beating in rhythm, a dance of freedom against the dawn. The flight is a marvel, a defiance of Earth's pull. They glide over Crete's shores, Knossos' palace a speck below, its frescoes fading in the morning mist. The Aegean stretches endless, its waves sparkling like sapphires, islands dotting the horizon, Naxos, Paros, distant Sicily. Daedalus, steady, flies a middle path, his wings cutting the air with practiced ease, his eyes scanning the sun and sea. Icarus behind him laughs, his voice a bell in the wind, his wings flapping faster. "We're free, father," he shouts, his heart soaring with the gulls that circle them. Fishermen below, hauling nets, gape upward, mistaking them for gods, their boats bobbing in awe. The ascent tests their craft. The wings, delicate yet strong, hold firm, the wax-binding feathers tightly, the wooden frames bending but unbroken. Daedalus, guiding their course, aims for Sicily, a land beyond Minos' reach, its shores a haven for exiles. He calls to Icarus, his voice sharp over the wind. "Stay low, follow me!" But Icarus, intoxicated by flight, feels the sky's pull, the sun's golden lure. He climbs, his wings beating harder, the air thinning, his laughter wild. Daedalus, glancing back, feels dread, his warnings drowned by the wind. The sea below churns, Poseidon's domain, while the sun above, Apollo's eye, watches their defiance, a silent threat in the myth's cadence. Knossos, unaware, stirs with morning life. Minos, in his throne room, plans sacrifices, his court oblivious to the escape. The Labyrinth, deep below, holds the Minotaur, its roars a grim reminder of Daedalus' role. The tower, now empty, stands silent, its bars useless against wings. Servants like Ariadne, who aided with wax, whisper of their flight, their loyalty a spark against Minos' tyranny. The sea, stretching to the horizon, carries their path, its waves a mirror of their hope, its vastness a gentle hum for sleep. The emotional depth weaves a tender thread. Daedalus' love, guiding Icarus, pulses with pride and fear, his warnings a father's plea. Icarus' zeal, a youth's dream of boundless skies, hums with reckless joy, his laughter a spark in the wind. Minos' shadow, though distant, adds menace, his greed a cold note softened for dreams. The wings, a marvel of craft, embody their bond, their lift a promise of freedom, their fragility a quiet caution. The sea and sun, divine forces, frame their flight, their power a mystic hum that lulls listeners towards sleep. Culturally, the flight reflects Greece's fascination with techne and hubris. Daedalus' wings, a pinnacle of invention, echo Hephaestus' craft, blending human skill with divine ambition. Icarus' ascent, defying his father, mirrors myths like Arachne, who challenged Athena, or Phaethon, who drove the sun's chariot to ruin. The sea and sun, tied to Poseidon and Apollo, weave Greek religion into the tale, their domains a test of mortal limits. The escape, a rebellion against tyranny, resonates with Greece's love of freedom, its stakes softened for the narrative's soothing flow. Politically, the flight threatens Minos' rule. His control, built on the labyrinth's secrecy, falters as Daedalus escapes, his genius a danger beyond Crete. The Minotaur, a symbol of Minos' shame, ties him to divine wrath, his paranoia a crack in his throne. Sicily, their goal, represents a rival power, its shores a challenge to Minos' reach. The tower, empty, mocks his authority, its silence a spark of rebellion. Knossos, bustling, remains blind, but whispers of Daedalus' flight stir unrest, a quiet tide in the myth's cadence. Crete's cliffs, kissed by dawn, frame the tale's heart. The Aegean sparkles, its islands beckoning, the wind carrying their wings. Daedalus, steady, flies with purpose, his eyes on the horizon. Icarus, climbing higher, laughs, his wings a blur, the sun calling. Minos' guards far below see nothing, their torches dim. The labyrinth, a hidden wound, holds its monster, Knossos asleep to their escape. The The sea's song, ceaseless and vast, whispers freedom, its rhythm a gentle tide. The myth's rhythm, blending flight with caution, weaves a soothing narrative, its promise of freedom, gentle for sleep. As this segment fades, see Daedalus and Icarus soaring over the Aegean, Crete fading, the sun rising. Icarus climbs, his laughter wild, Daedalus calling after. The myth, alive with hope and peril, hums with their ascent, ready for Icarus's fatal climb. Let this image, father and son, wings cutting the sky, carry you toward dreams where hubris and tragedy await. Above the shimmering Aegean, where Crete's cliffs fade into a distant haze, Daedalus and Icarus soar on wings of feathers and wax. Their escape from King Minos's tower a fleeting triumph in the mythical Bronze Age. The master craftsman's warnings fly neither too high nor too low, echo in the wind. But Icarus, his heart ablaze with youth's ambition, feels the sky's boundless call. This is the tale of his reckless ascent, a dance with the sun that tests the limits of mortal pride. As his wings strain and his father's cries grow faint, Icarus's hubris ignites a tragedy that will mark the heavens. Let the rhythm of rushing winds, beating wings, and a youth's defiant laughter weave a soothing narrative, its cadence of ambition and peril lulling you gently towards sleep, where myths unfold like clouds scorched by Greece's blazing sun. The Aegean stretches vast below, its waves glinting like polished sapphires, islands, Naxos, Paros, distant Sicily, dotting the horizon like stepping stones. Daedalus, his broad wings cutting the air with steady precision, flies a middle path, his eyes scanning the sea and sky. His warnings to Icarus, shouted over the wind, carry the weight of experience. Stay close, not too high, lest the sun melt the wax, nor too low, lest the sea soak the feathers. His voice, sharp with fear, recalls myths of hubris. Phaethon's fall, Bellerophon's ruin, knowing the gods, Apollo in the sun and Poseidon in the waves, watch their flight. Icarus, 13, his lighter wings flapping with eager rhythm, nods but feels the sky's pull, his heart racing with dreams of glory. Icarus's ascent begins with joy, his laughter a bell in the wind. The wings, a marvel of Daedalus's craft, lift him effortlessly, their feathers, gull-white, hawk-grey, catching the breeze. Crete's cliffs, once their prison, shrink to a speck, Knossos' palace a forgotten dream. "We're gods, father!" Icarus shouts, his curls whipped by the air, his eyes bright with wonder. Below, fishermen in reed boats gape, mistaking them for divine messengers, their nets still as they point skyward. The sea, Poseidon's realm, churns gently, its waves a distant murmur, while the sun, Apollo's eye, climbs higher, its heat a growing threat. Icarus, intoxicated by freedom, flaps harder, his wings a blur, climbing toward the heavens. Daedalus, steady below, watches with growing dread. His wings, broader and heavier, hold firm, their wax cool in the morning air. He calls again, "Icarus, lower! Follow me!" But the wind swallows his voice, and Icarus, caught in the sky's embrace, ignores him. The sun, now a blazing orb, draws Icarus like a moth, its golden light a siren's call. He climbs higher, the air thinning, his breath quickening, his ambition a flame that blinds him to danger. "I'll touch the stars," he cries, his voice wild, his wings straining. The wax, softening under Apollo's gaze, begins to glisten, droplets falling like tears. But Icarus, lost in his dream, feels only the thrill of ascent. The wings, though masterfully crafted, are fragile against the sun's fire. Daedalus, his heart pounding, sees the first feathers loosen, drifting like snowflakes toward the sea. "Icarus!" he shouts, his voice cracking, his own wings faltering as he tries to close the gap. The boy, now a silhouette against the sun, laughs, his arms pumping, his body rising where eagles dare not soar. The Aegean below, vast and indifferent, reflects the sun's glare, Poseidon's waves lapping as if waiting. Icarus, his eyes fixed on the heavens, feels the wax soften, the feathers slipping, but his pride, hubris the Greeks call it, drives him higher, defying his father, the gods, and mortal limits. Knossos, far below, stirs with morning life, unaware of the drama unfolding above. Minos, in his throne room, plans a bull sacrifice, his court oblivious to the escape. The Labyrinth, hiding the Minotaur, echoes with distant roars. a secret tying Minos to divine shame. The tower, now empty, stands silent, its bars useless against Daedalus's genius. Servants like Ariadne, who aided with wax, whisper of their flight, their loyalty a spark against Minos's tyranny. The sea, stretching to Sicily, holds their path, its waves a mirror of their fleeting freedom, its vastness a gentle hum for sleep. The emotional depth pulses deeply, a tender thread for dreams. Daedalus's fear, watching his son climb, aches with love and helplessness, his warnings a father's desperate plea. Icarus's hubris, a youth's reckless dream, hums with vibrant defiance, his laughter a spark that lights the sky. The sun and sea, Apollo and Poseidon, loom as divine judges, their power a mystic note softened for sleep. Minos's distant greed, a shadow over their flight, adds menace, his tyranny a cold undercurrent. The wings, symbols of their bond, carry both hope and doom, their fragility a quiet caution that weaves a soothing tide for listeners drifting toward dreams. Culturally, Icarus's ascent embodies Greece's fascination with hubris, the fatal flaw of overreaching ambition. His climb, defying Daedalus's wisdom, mirrors myths like Arachne, who challenged Athena, or Tantalus, who stole divine nectar. The wings, a pinnacle of techne, reflect Greece's reverence for craft, tied to Hephaestus's forge, yet their failure warns of mortal limits. The sun, Apollo's domain, and the sea, Poseidon's realm, weave Greek religion into the tale, their forces testing human daring. Icarus's joy, a youth's embrace of freedom, resonates with Greece's love of adventure, its stakes softened for the narrative's gentle flow. Politically, the ascent threatens Minos's authority. His rule, built on the Labyrinth's secrecy, falters as Daedalus and Icarus soar beyond his reach, their flight a rebellion against tyranny. The Minotaur, a symbol of Minos's shame, ties him to Poseidon's wrath, his paranoia growing with each rumor of their escape. Sicily, their destination, represents a rival power, its shores a challenge to Crete's dominance. The tower, empty, mocks Minos's control, its silence a spark of defiance. Knossos, bustling with feasts, remains blind, but whispers of Daedalus's wings stir unrest. A quiet tide in the myth's cadence, the Aegean's expanse, framed by Crete's fading cliffs, paints the tale's heart. The sea sparkles, its islands beckoning, the wind carrying their wings. Daedalus, flying steady, calls to Icarus, his voice lost in the rush. Icarus, climbing higher, dances with the sun, his laughter a melody, his wings trembling. Fishermen below, their boats tiny specks, watch in awe, their nets still. The labyrinth far below holds its monster, Knossos asleep to their defiance. The sun's heat, Apollo's gaze grows fiercer, the wax glistening, the sea waiting. The myth's rhythm, blending freedom with peril, weaves a soothing narrative, its tension gentle for sleep. As this segment fades, see Icarus soaring high above the Aegean, his wings aglow, Daedalus below, his cries faint. The sun burns, the wax softens, Crete a distant memory. The myth, alive with ambition and doom, hums with the promise of tragedy, ready for Icarus's fall. Let this image, youth climbing, father pleading, carry you toward dreams where the Icarian sea awaits. High above the glittering Aegean, where the sun blazes like Apollo's wrath, Icarus soars on wings of feathers and wax, his ambition defying his father Daedalus's warnings in the mythical Bronze Age. Crete's cliffs, once their prison under King Minos, fade into the haze, but Icarus's reckless climb toward the heavens courts disaster. This is the tale of his tragic fall, as the wax melts and the sea claims him, forever naming the Icarian Sea. Daedalus, helpless, watches his son plummet, his grief a wound that scars the myth. Let the rhythm of crumbling wings, anguished cries, and the sea's mournful song weave a soothing narrative, its cadence of hubris and loss lulling you gently towards sleep, where myths unfold like waves crashing over Greece's eternal shores. The Aegean stretches boundless below, its sapphire waves sparkling under the midday sun. Islands, Naxos, Paros, distant Sicily, mere specks on the horizon. Daedalus, his broad wings cutting the air with steady rhythm, flies a cautious path, his eyes darting between the sea and the blazing orb above. His warnings to Icarus, fly neither too high nor too low, echo in his mind, their urgency drowned by the wind. Icarus, 13, his lighter wings flapping with wild fervour, climbs higher, his laughter a defiant bell. "I'm a god, father," he shouts, his curls whipped by the thinning air, his heart drunk on the sun's golden lure. The wax in his wings, softening under Apollo's heat, glistens like tears, unnoticed in his fervour. Daedalus below feels dread tighten his chest. His wings, sturdy and broad, hold firm, but he sees Icarus's silhouette against the sun, a reckless shadow dancing with fire. "Icarus, descend!" he cries, his voice hoarse, his own wings straining to close the gap. The sun, Apollo's eye, burns fiercer, its heat a divine judgment on their mortal craft. The sea, Poseidon's domain, churns below, its waves a hungry maw. Icarus, lost in his ascent, ignores the warnings, his wings beating faster, feathers loosening as the wax melts, dripping like molten gold. A single feather drifts downward, then another, floating toward the sea like a fallen star, a silent omen of doom. The catastrophe unfolds swiftly. Icarus, soaring where eagles falter, feels the wings falter, the wax now liquid, feathers scattering like autumn leaves. His laughter turns to a scream, his arms flailing as the frames buckle. "Father!" he cries, his voice sharp with terror, his body twisting in the air. The wings, Daedalus's masterpiece, unravel, feathers spiraling into the Aegean. Icarus plummets, a streak of mortal ambition against the sky, his cries swallowed by the wind. The sea rushes up, its waves crashing, and he strikes the water, vanishing beneath the foam. The ripples spread, naming the Icarian Sea in his memory, a grave marked by Poseidon's embrace. Daedalus, helpless, watches the fall, his heart shattering. His wings falter, his breath ragged, but he glides downward, circling the spot where Icarus sank. "My son!" he wails, his voice breaking, tears blurring the sea below. No trace remains, only a few feathers bobbing on the waves, their whiteness stark against the blue. The sun, unyielding, continues its arc, Apollo silent in his judgment. Daedalus, his wings heavy with grief, flies on, his course set for Sicily, a land beyond Minos's reach. He lands on its shores, collapsing in the sand, his hands clawing the earth. His sobs a raw lament that echoes through the myth's somber cadence. Sicily's cliffs, rugged and olive-clad, cradle his sorrow. Daedalus, alone, builds a small shrine to Apollo, a plea for forgiveness, his hands trembling as he carves a wooden bird in Icarus's memory. Fishermen, witnessing the lone figure, landing, spread tales of a winged man, their stories mingling with awe and pity. Crete, far across the sea, remains ignorant of the tragedy. Minos in Knossos feasts with his court, the labyrinth secret secure, the tower empty. Servants like Ariadne, who aided their escape, whisper of their flight, unaware of Icarus's fate. The Aegean, now the Icarian Sea, holds its new name, its waves a mournful lullaby that weaves through the narrative's gentle flow. The emotional depth is profound, a tender thread for sleep. Daedalus's grief, a father's heart broken by loss, pulses with raw anguish, his cries a haunting note softened for dreams. Icarus's hubris, a youth's dream turned to terror, hums with tragic defiance, his fall a spark extinguished in the sea. The sun and sea, Apollo and Poseidon, loom as divine arbiters, their silence a mystic weight that lulls listeners. Minos's distant tyranny, a shadow over their flight, adds a cold undercurrent, his greed a faint menace. The wings, symbols of hope and doom, crumble in the narrative, their failure a quiet caution that soothes the heart towards sleep. Culturally, Icarus's fall embodies Greece's obsession with hubris, the fatal flaw of overreaching ambition. His plunge, defying Daedalus's wisdom, mirrors myths like Phaethon, who crashed the sun's chariot, or Tantalus, punished for stealing divine nectar. The wings, a pinnacle of techny, reflect Greece's reverence for craft, tied to Hephaestus's forge, yet their destruction warns of mortal limits against divine power. The Icarian Sea, named in his fall, ties to Greek geography. Its waves are memorial in tales like Ovid's Metamorphoses. Icarus's youth, his reckless joy, resonates with Greece's love of adventure, its tragedy a gentle hum in the myth's cadence. Politically, the fall weakens Minos's grip. His rule, built on the Labyrinth's secrecy, falters as Daedalus escapes, his survival a threat to Crete's authority. The Minotaur, a symbol of Minos's divine shame, binds him to Poseidon's wrath, his paranoia growing with rumors of winged men. Sicily, Daedalus's refuge, challenges Crete's dominance, its shores a rival power. The empty tower mocks Minos's control, its silence a spark of rebellion. Knossos, feasting, remains blind, but whispers of the escape stir unrest, a quiet tide in the myth's soothing flow. The Aegean's expanse, framed by Sicily's distant cliffs, paints the tale's heart. The sea, now Icarian, ripples with Icarus's memory, its waves a mournful song. Daedalus, alone on Sicily's shore, carves his shrine, his hands stained with grief. The sun, Apollo's unyielding gaze, sets, casting long shadows. Crete, a fading speck, holds its secrets, Knossos asleep to the tragedy. Fishermen, their boats bobbing, tell of a boy who fell from the sky, their tales seeding the myth. The narratives, rhythm, blending hubris with loss, weaves a soothing tide, its tragedy gentle for sleep. As this segment fades, see Daedalus on Sicily's shore, his wings discarded, Icarus's feathers lost to the sea. The Icarian Sea ripples, Knossos distant, the sun setting. The myth, heavy with sorrow, hums with lessons to come, ready for Daedalus's aftermath. Let this image, a father mourning, waves whispering, carry you toward dreams where the myth's resonance awaits. In the wake of Icarus's tragic plunge into the Aegean, now named the Icarian Sea, Daedalus lands alone on Sicily's rugged shores, his wings of feathers and wax heavy with grief in the mythical Bronze Age. Crete, with its labyrinth and King Minos's tyranny, fades into the distance, but the loss of his son scars the master craftsman's heart. This is the tale of Daedalus's exile, his craft tempered by sorrow as he seeks redemption in a foreign land. His genius, once a beacon of hope, now bears the weight of tragedy, his story a cautionary whisper against hubris. Let the rhythm of crashing waves, quiet carvings, and a father's mournful sighs weave a soothing narrative, its cadence of loss and resilience lulling you gently towards sleep, where myths unfold like shadows over Sicily's olive-clad hills. Sicily, a land of rocky cliffs and sunlit groves, welcomes Daedalus as a weary exile. His wings, crumpled from the flight, lie discarded on the shore, their feathers scattered like remnants of Icarus's dream. The Aegean, far behind, ripples with his son's memory, the Icarian Sea a silent monument to his fall. Daedalus, his beard streaked with salt and tears, kneels in the sand, his hands clawing the earth. "Icarus, my boy," he whispers, his voice breaking. The seas murmur a cruel echo of his cries. The sun, Apollo's unyielding eye, sets over the horizon, its heat no longer a threat, but a reminder of his failure to save his son. Sicily's people, simple fishermen and farmers, watch from afar, their whispers seeding tales of a winged man fallen from the heavens. Daedalus, driven by grief, seeks solace in his craft. He wanders inland to the court of King Cocalus in Camicus, a ruler known for sheltering exiles. Cocalus, impressed by tales of Daedalus's skill, offers refuge, his palace a modest echo of Knossos' grandeur. Daedalus, his hands still steady, builds a temple to Apollo, a gesture of atonement for defying the sun god's domain. He carves wooden statues, birds, bulls, a likeness of Icarus with wings aloft. Their curves smooth under his chisel, each stroke a prayer for forgiveness. The temple, adorned with intricate friezes, rises on a hill, its columns gleaming under Sicily's moon. "For you, my son," he murmurs, placing a wooden bird at the altar, its wings forever still. Life in Sicily is a quiet contrast to Crete's menace. Daedalus, no longer a prisoner, crafts for Cocculus, irrigation systems, golden ornaments, toys that spin like stars. Yet, his heart remains tethered to Icarus, his nights haunted by dreams of falling feathers and a boy's fading cry. He teaches local artisans, his lessons patient but somber, his voice lacking the fire that once lit Icarus's eyes. Cocculus's daughters, weaving at their looms, offer kindness, their laughter a faint echo of Icarus's joy. The sea, visible from Camicus's hills, whispers of the Icarian Sea, its name spreading through traders' tales, a reminder of Daedalus's loss that softens the narrative's cadence for sleep. Minos, in Crete, learns of the escape, his fury a storm in Knossos' halls. The empty tower, its bars useless, mocks his authority. The Labyrinth, still hiding the Minotaur, binds him to divine shame, his paranoia growing. He sends ships to hunt Daedalus, offering gold for his capture, his voice cold. His mind is mine. Rumors of a winged man in Sicily reach his court, stirring unease. Ariadne, his daughter who aided the escape, remains silent, her loyalty to Daedalus a quiet rebellion. Minos' pursuit, a distant threat, adds menace to the tale, its tension softened for dreams, a shadow over Daedalus's fragile peace. Daedalus's craft, once a spark of rebellion, now serves healing. He designs aqueducts for Sicily's fields, their arches channeling water like veins of life. He carves a lyre, its strings singing of Icarus's laughter played at Cocculus's feasts. Yet each creation carries sorrow, his hands tracing memories of feathers and wax. The temple to Apollo, complete, draws pilgrims, its wooden bird a symbol of loss. Fishermen, passing the Icarian Sea, tell of a boy who flew too high, their tales weaving Icarus's name into myth. Daedalus, hearing them, weeps, his genius now a burden, its brilliance dimmed by grief. The emotional depth is profound, a tender thread for sleep. Daedalus's grief, a father's heart broken by loss, pulses with raw anguish. His carvings a silent lament softened for dreams. Icarus's absence, a void in his soul, hums with tragic memory, his laughter a spark extinguished. Apollo's presence, forgiving yet distant, adds a mystic note. The temple, a plea for peace. Minos' pursuit, a cold undercurrent, weaves menace, his tyranny a shadow over Sicily's calm. Cocculus's kindness, a spark of humanity, lights the narrative, its warmth a soothing hum that lulls listeners toward dreams. Culturally, Daedalus's aftermath reflects Greece's reverence for techne and the cost of hubris. His temple, a crafted offering, echoes Hephaestus's forge, blending skill with divine atonement. Icarus's fall, naming the Icarian Sea, ties to Greek geography, its waves a memorial in tales like Ovid's Metamorphoses. The myth's caution, ambition unchecked leads to ruin, resonates with stories like Phaethon's crash or Arachne's punishment, its lesson a quiet pulse. Daedalus's exile, a craftsman humbled, mirrors Greece's value of resilience, his creations a testament to art's enduring power, softened for the narrative's gentle flow. Politically, Daedalus's survival challenges Minos' rule. Crete's authority, built on the labyrinth's secrecy, falters as Daedalus thrives in Sicily, his genius a threat beyond Minos' reach. The Minotaur, a symbol of divine shame, ties Minos to Poseidon's wrath, his pursuit of Daedalus a desperate bid to reclaim control. Sicily, under Cocculus, emerges as a rival power, its welcome of Daedalus a defiance of Crete's dominance. The empty tower, a silent mockery, stirs unrest in Knossos, its whispers a spark of rebellion, a quiet tide in the myth's soothing cadence. Sicily's hills, kissed by sun and sea, frame the tale's heart. Camicus's palace, modest yet warm, shelters Daedalus, its olive groves a contrast to Crete's menace. The temple to Apollo, its columns gleaming, stands as a monument to loss, the wooden bird a silent tribute. The Icarian sea, far across the waves, ripples with Icarus's memory, its name carried by traders. Minos's ships, searching the horizon, cast a distant shadow, Knossos blind to Daedalus's refuge. The narrative's rhythm, blending sorrow with resilience, weaves a soothing tide, its tragedy gentle for sleep. As this segment fades, see Daedalus in Sicily, carving by torchlight, the sea whispering Icarus's name. The temple stands, Minos's pursuit a distant threat, Knossos fading. The myth, heavy with loss, hums with legacy, ready for its enduring resonance. Let this image, a father crafting, waves mourning, carry you toward dreams where the myth's lessons unfold. The Icarian sea ripples with the memory of Icarus's fall, its waves whispering his name where he plunged in the mythical Bronze Age. His wings of wax and feathers undone by hubris. Daedalus, mourning in Sicilian exile, carves his grief into a temple for Apollo, but it is Icarus's story that soars beyond Crete's shores, etching itself into Greece's soul and the world's imagination. This final chapter traces the myth's timeless resonance, from ancient poetry to Renaissance art, modern metaphors and warnings of ambition's peril. Let the rhythm of ancient lays, whispered cautions, and a boy's eternal flight weave a soothing narrative, its cadence of glory and tragedy lulling you gently towards sleep, where myths unfold like stars over Greece's boundless skies. In Crete, King Minos's court feasts, unaware of Icarus's fate, the Labyrinth still hiding the Minotaur's shame. The empty tower, once Daedalus and Icarus's prison, mocks Minos's control, its silence a spark of rebellion. Across the Aegean, the Icarian Sea becomes a monument, its name born from tragedy, carried by fishermen who tell of a boy who flew like a god and fell like a mortal. In Sicily, Daedalus's temple to Apollo stands, its wooden bird a tribute to his son, its columns gleaming under the moon. Traders, sailing from Naxos to Corinth, spread the tale, their stories seeding the myth in Greece's oral tradition, a gentle hum that lights the narrative's enduring fire. Ancient Greece embraces the myth, weaving it into its cultural tapestry. Poets like Hesiod, though not naming Icarus, sing of hubris, mortals challenging divine limits, laying the myth's foundation. By the 1st century BCE, Ovid's Metamorphoses immortalizes Icarus. His verses vivid, his wings melted, he fell, and the sea took his name. Recited in Roman forums, Ovid's words echo in Greek agorus, bards strumming lyres to the rhythm of Icarus's flight and fall. The tale, blending ambition with doom, becomes a cautionary song, its melody soothing listeners, its warning softened for dreams. Temples to Apollo, like Daedalus's in Sicily, dot Greece, their altars holding carved wings, tributes to a boy's fleeting glory. Art captures Icarus's tragedy, his fall a muse for Greek imagination. Archaic vases from Athens, circa 500 BCE, depict winged figures plummeting, feathers scattered, a nod to Icarus's fate. Hellenistic sculptures, their marble flowing, show Daedalus's grief, his hands reaching for a lost son. The Renaissance revives the myth. Peter Bruegel's landscape with the fall of Icarus, c. 1558, painting Icarus's legs vanishing into the sea, unnoticed by ploughmen. A stark lesson in hubris's fleeting mark. Baroque artists like Anthony van Dyck render the melting wings, their light dramatic, a tribute to Icarus's daring. These images, vivid yet somber, weave a visual lullaby, their colours softening the tragedy for dreamers. Literature carries Icarus through time. Medieval monks, preserving Ovid, blend the myth with Christian warnings of pride, their manuscripts glowing with inked wings. In the Renaissance, Dante alludes to Icarus in Inferno, his fall a metaphor for sin's punishment. The 19th century sees Ireland's Celtic revival draw parallels. W.B. Yeats invoking Icarus in poems like To a Friend Whose Work Has Come to Nothing, tying flight to doomed ambition. Modern authors, like James Joyce, use Daedalus in A Portrait of the Artist as a young man, as a symbol of creative exile. Icarus's fall a shadow over art's risks. Films and comics, like The Flight of Icarus 1974, retell the tale, its tragedy a gentle hum for global audiences. The myth's themes, hubris, ambition, and the father-son bond, resonate deeply. A tender thread for sleep. Icarus's climb, defying Daedalus's warnings, embodies Greece's fear of overreaching, echoing Phaethon's chariot crash, or Arachne's challenge to Athena. The wings, a marvel of techny, reflect human ingenuity, tied to Hephaestus's forge. Yet their failure warns of mortal limits against Apollo's sun and Poseidon's sea. Daedalus's love, clashing with Icarus's recklessness, humanizes the tragedy, a universal ache softened for dreams. The Icarian Sea, a named place, ties to Greece's tradition of memorializing heroes. Its waves a soothing cadence that lulls listeners. In modern times, Icarus is a metaphor for ambition's peril. Aerospace, naming the Icarus paradox, cautions against overconfidence, from early flight to space missions. Businesses use the term for firms that soar then crash, undone by hubris. Pop culture invokes Icarus, from songs like Iron Maiden's Flight of Icarus to video games with winged heroes. Schools teach the myth, its lesson clear: aim high, but heed wisdom. Greek festivals on Icaria, with kite flying under starry skies, celebrate Icarus, their colours dancing, a nod to his dream. These echoes, vibrant yet cautionary, weave a gentle tide in the narrative's flow. Politically, the myth critiques tyranny. Minos's imprisonment of Daedalus mirrors rulers who chain creativity, his pursuit a failed grasp for control. The Icarian Sea, named for Icarus's fall, mocks Minos's legacy, his labyrinth a hollow victory. Sicily's refuge for Daedalus challenges Crete's dominance, a quiet rebellion. The myth's resonance in modern struggles, Greece's 1821 uprising, 20th century revolutions, casts Icarus as a symbol of daring against oppression, his fall a warning of excess, its stakes softened for sleep. Culturally, Icarus shapes global storytelling. His archetype, a youth defying limits, parallels Prometheus or Gilgamesh, his fall a universal tragedy. The father-son dynamic, Daedalus's grief, echoes myths like Sohrab and Rostam, blending love with loss. The wings, inspiring Leonardo da Vinci's sketches, fuel tales of invention. The Icarian Sea, like the Hellespont, ties to Greece's naming of landscapes for heroes. Carried by Roman poets to Europe, the myth seeds medieval epics, its rhythm a soothing hum across cultures. The emotional depth is profound, a gentle current for sleep. Daedalus's grief, carving in exile, pulses with eternal loss, his temple a silent lament. Icarus's fall, a youth's dream drowned, hums with tragic ambition, his laughter extinguished. Apollo and Poseidon, divine judges, add a mystic note, their silence softening the tragedy. Minos's tyranny, a fading shadow, weaves irony, his failure a quiet spark. Sicily's kindness, a refuge, lights the narrative, its warmth a soothing tide. The myth's open end, Icarus's name eternal, invites wonder, a lullaby for dreams. Sicily's groves frame the tale's close. Daedalus's temple, its bird aloft, honors Icarus. The Icarian Sea, rippling far off, carries his name, its waves a mournful song. Crete's feasts fade, the labyrinth forgotten. Traders spread the tale, their ships bearing its echo. The narrative, blending tragedy with legacy, weaves a soothing tide, its lessons gentle for sleep. As this segment fades, see the Icarian Sea under stars, Daedalus's temple glowing, Icarus's name alive. The myth, vibrant with warning, hums with timeless fire. Let this image, sea whispering, wings remembered, carry you toward dreams where Icarus's flight endures.